Okay, everybody, welcome to the summer event for the Cambridge Power Platform User Group. I'm Sharon Sumner. I'll be your hostess this evening. It's afternoon. It's not quite evening yet. Calm down. And we've got some fantastic speakers this afternoon, starting off with our very own Sancho. So let's get straight into the meeting rules and regulations, just so that we all know where we stand. It's always nice just to put this up at the beginning and sort of say, can we all just be aware of each other, understand each other, and, very tolerant. Being kind and considerate to others is a bit of a mantra of ours, and we hope that you respect that during the course of today's call. So who have we got on today's call? Really exciting roundup for our summer event. So we have the lovely Sancho, who I can see here already. Hi, Sancho. He's going to talk to us about learning, exams, knowing your topic. All of those things are really key in the Microsoft ecosystem. So Sancho's going to talk to us about, just because we've got AI, and we're a bit of an AI-focused event today, doesn't mean we don't need to learn. So looking forward to that. It's always nice to get some really differing opinions on how great or not AI, Copilot, and all these things are. Talking of Copilot, we're going to be then going on to Katerina, who I think is also here already. Hi, Katerina. And she's going to be talking to, hello. She's going to be talking to us about the AI Copilot in the terms of the Microsoft Power Platform. So that's going to be more of an educational piece. We like that. Hopefully a bit of show and tell going on there. Then we've got, I'm going to butcher your name. I apologize in advance. Shruti, coming along to talk to us about the integration of OpenAI with the Power Platform and those custom connectors, which again, hoping for a little show and tell, which would be great. I'm going to finish off this afternoon's session with Divya, who's been here before, and I think we have a recorded session from her today. And she's going to be looking at actually the security and the moderation of those Azure Cognitive Services. Again, really important topic when it comes to AI is security and moderation. So a bit of a mix. So we're going to talk about, a little bit of insight into what AI is for and not, then how we can use it, and then how we can secure it. So it's going to be a really full session today. So thank you to our speakers in advance. We really appreciate your time and you coming along, sharing your knowledge with everybody. And I think at this point, if he's there, he is. Last minute ditch. At this point, we're going to hand over to Sancho. Oh, I actually didn't introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, and I can't believe there are any of you out there, I'm Sharon Sumner. I am your community leader. So I help bring all of these things together in conjunction with my team who are in the background. Do you want to come off? Do you want to come on camera, guys? If we got back here. So we have the lovely Amber, who organises all the speakers and does marketing for the event. And then we have our techie back there, Luke, who is helping us out with all things technical. So thank you very much for the Casper 365 team and Casper 365 for sponsoring the event. Again, those that don't know me, I'm a Microsoft MVP for business applications. I'm also, as of yesterday, a Microsoft Regional Director, which I'm super proud of. And also known, thank you very much, also known as SharePoint Sharon. If you want to go and find me on LinkedIn, please do connect. I'm always happy to talk to anybody about anything Power Platform, AI, Copilot, anytime. You'll also find me at the Scottish Summit, which is not this weekend, but the weekend after, 5th of August, where I'm going to be introducing a brand new speaker, and we're going to be talking about low-code, pro-code, which will be a really great session. So if you're at Scottish Summit, come find me, come say hi. It'd be lovely to meet all of you. Okay, so we are going to be recording the sessions today. So if you weren't able to make it, don't worry about it. That'll be available on YouTube later in the usual spot, and we'll tell you where that is right at the end. What we've got next. Okay, so we're going straight into a Copilot, which is great and really relevant to what Sancho was saying. Katerina, are you here or are we playing your video? Or both?
Hi, well, I'm here, but I think that it is better to play the video because there are a lot of demos and we in time. Let's play video. And I will be here to answer all questions in chat or after this session.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, we're going to leave this bit on the screen for a bit longer because I've never seen such a big bio and I kind of like it. It's really nice to delve into what it is that you've been up to. And I can see here that you're an MCT. I mean, I've seen your stuff previously, so it's a bit cheap for me. But, you know, did you want to give us a bit of a background, or do you do that in your video?
In my video, I did everything. Yeah.
All right, Link, technically over to you to get that video on the screen for us if you can, please.
Ever found yourself saying thanks to your AI Copilot if it were a person? Do not worry, you're not alone. Let's explore the power of Microsoft Copilot over the next 30 minutes. Let's remember to be kind, patient, and friendly to each other for today. Everyone is welcome, and all questions and viewpoints matter. Also, I want to take a moment to say thank you, Sharon, for organizing this fantastic event and leading this marvelous community. I'm Katerina Chernevskaya, Senior Software Architect at Avara IT Academy. I'm passionately engaged in community events where I share my insights, and I regularly post educational material on LinkedIn and sample projects on GitHub. Today, I'm thrilled to discuss Microsoft Copilot. We will explore what it is, how it can benefit us, and where to start. Since 2019, Microsoft Power Platform began to make developers' jobs easier with the help of AI. Now, we have smart helpers, co-pilots in 3 main Power Platform products: Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents. Copilot makes it simpler to create applications, automate workflows, and launch chatbots. The best part is it does not matter how experienced you are as a developer. If you're just getting started with low-code development, Copilot is a fantastic tool to have on your side. I believe we didn't just come for a slideshow, did we? We are all about the live action. So let's dive in and see what this Copilot can really do. We are going to start experiments with Microsoft Copilot in Power Apps, but before we are going to Power Apps Maker portal, I would like to highlight that since Copilot is under the preview, these capabilities is available in environments in the region United States. So if you would like to play with Copilot with all features, I would suggest you to create environment in this region, and then you can simply go to the Make Power Apps portal, go to the dedicated environment that you created in the US, and you can play with the Copilot. In this environment, you will see this welcome screen where you can use predefined prompts, or you can create your own prompt. Prompts like an instructions. So if you would like to provide some guidelines and give requirements to the Copilot, you can accumulate everything in the prompt and send to your Copilot. So if you would like to test with the predefined prompts, just simply click on them or create your own. In my example, I would like to ask Copilot to act as a finance manager and create an application for tracking expense reports. So let's ask, act as a finance manager looking for an app to keep track of expense reports. This is the initial prompt. If you would like to provide some specific that you have, for example, I would like to have some additional columns, required columns in my Dataverse table, then you need to include this in your prompt. So I would like to say that reports should include date of expense, sum, description, and author. Okay, that's it. Once you are happy with your prompt, you can click on Go icon and Copilot starting working. First of all, Copilot will create a Dataverse table for you where all required information will be storing, and this is our table. Date, sum, description, author, everything is okay. And pay attention that, for example, for date, we have type date and time. For sum, we have type currency. For description, we have type text and text area because description could be long. So Copilot can understand the specific of data that you would like to store in the column and create appropriate type of the columns. Everything is perfect. And also you can see this warning message here. A text primary name column is required. Why it is here? Because you know that in Dataverse all tables must have primary name column. In our case, we did not create it yet, but we can do this. You can create manually, but we are working with our companion, with our Copilot. Let's ask Copilot to create this column for us and be polite. So I would suggest to start with, please create a primary name column. We just simply send our requirements to the Copilot, and Copilot is doing it for us. So now I'm expecting that, yes, name column is appear here, and the warning message is disappear. So you can use this chat with Copilot to send requirements if you need to create any new columns, to delete any existing columns, to change anything. Moreover, you can ask Copilot to provide you some suggestions. For example, could you please suggest how I can improve this table? You can use your normal language. You should not remember any prompts, any constructions. So just explain to Copilot in the same way as you use, for example, in the explanation to your colleague. Okay, and you can see that Copilot provides some suggestions. For example, add location. Now, nice to have a location where this expense was made. Okay. In this way, you can adjust your Dataverse table. Once you're happy with the result, you can click on Create Up button, and Copilot will take information from your initial prompt regarding requirements and from the created Dataverse table and build a Canvas app based on these requirements for you. And this Canvas app application meet modern requirements like responsive design, color schema, etc. It is nicely application, and you can continue to use it and add some additional controls or screens, etc. In the 3D view, you can see that Copilot created for us first screen with a lot of controls, a lot of containers just to keep this responsive design, and you can interact with this. So it is already interactable, and if we see, for example, on mobile phone, you can see that everything is work perfectly. On the tablet as well. Or you can turn on your phone and everything is okay. This way you can use Microsoft Copilot to work with a Canvas app application and ask the help of Copilot in creating these applications. Now, what about Power Automate? With Power Automate, you can use Copilot again to describe what you need, and Copilot will create the flow for you. In this case, in the Power Automate, let's imagine that we would like to create approval process. So let's describe. Start approval process. Oh, and I can see my previous prompt here. You can see in the drop-down list your previous prompts and some suggestions that Copilot thinks that might be interesting for you. Let's use my previous prompt. In this prompt, I provide initial information that I would like to start the approval process, and I add some specific. So I wanted Copilot to add approval and Outlook connectors and send email message after the approval will be completed. And here in the center of my screen, I see suggested flow. The trigger is date of birth. When a new row is added, it's correlated with my prompt. Perfect. And I have two actions, start approval and send a message via Outlook. Perfect again. So I'm pretty happy with this suggested flow, and I can click next. Now I see that Copilot created for me connections, which is great. And as in this environment, I already have connections for these sources, this connection was predefined with my credentials. But if you would like to switch account or if you would like to create a new connection, it is simple by clicking on three dots and go to add new connection. Easy. Now I'm happy with this screen. I click next. And here I need to provide some additional details how I would like to configure my flow. So here I need to select editors. For example, let's select accounts. Then let's select the type of approval. Let's see, it will be the first to respond. And other fields you can configure later on. And we just click create flow. And the flow is created for us by Microsoft Copilot. And as we saw in the power-ups, on the right hand, you see this chat with Copilot with all history, and you can ask your Copilot to create some additional steps. And here you can also ask to explain what any steps are doing in this flow. For an example, let's ask Copilot to explain what create an approval step is doing. Be polite and say, could you please explain this step create an approval, and send. Now Copilot is generating the explanation, and yes, that's it. So you can use Copilot not only to create your flow, but also you can ask to explain any steps in the flow. For example, if your colleague created a Power Automate Cloud flow and shared this flow with you, and you would like to know more what exactly this or that step is doing, you can ask Copilot and get response. And last but not least for today is Copilot in Power Virtual Agents. Let's explore how you can use Copilot in this tool. I would tell you that there are plenty of options that Copilot provides you in Power Virtual Agents. Let's see. The first option is coming when you're creating a new bot. Just clicking a new chatbot, provide a name, and also you can see this field, boost your conversations with generative answers. This field allows you to provide a website from where chatbot can get information if chatbot receives unrecognized phrases from a user. You remember in the past you have to configure the fallback topic to handle these phrases and to work with some information that bot gets from a user and do not know how to answer. But now you simply provide a website with FAQ or a website with plenty of information, and that's it. Copilot will taking this over. So, for my example, I'm going to select this site about Power Platform. I'm simply provide this site here. If I would like, I can provide some advanced options. For example, I can select the icon, define the solution, etc. And when I'm happy, I can click on the Create button. And this chatbot will be creating for me. And we can test it. So you can see that we created a fresh new bot. We didn't create any topics in this bot. And let's ask this bot something about Power Platform. For example, what is Power Platform? Remember, we didn't create any topic related to Power Platform, but our chatbot already knows what it is. Why? Because thanks to Copilot and AI, we added this website, Microsoft website, with plenty of information about Power Platform, and we can see that this data was surfaced with Azure OpenAI. By the way, you can rank this answer if you don't like it, or if you like it, I like it, and that's it. Go to topics, no specific topic about Power Platform. Just provide the web link when you created a chatbot. This is the first option. The second option, where Copilot in Power Virtual Agents is shine, is when you create a new topic. So in the past, we create from scratch, we put everything that we need manually. Now we still have this option, but additionally, we have an option to create a topic with Copilot. Let's explore. So let's name this topic for licensing, for example. And then we need to provide some instructions, prompt to make clear for Copilot what we would like this topic to do. The same as we did in Power Apps and Power Automate, we provide text instructions for Copilot. Here is the same. So let's say, let users search information about Power Platform licensing schema. That's it. Of course, you can play with prompt, you can provide more details, you should be more specific, but for demo purpose, I think that's okay. And click Create. Copilot creating initial topic for us, creating trigger phrases, yes, and create some steps. So for trigger phrases, you can see a list of phrases that user can use. Additionally, the step was created for question. So our chatbot asked a question, what would you like to know about Power Platform, I guess, and store the response from the user in the variable licensing query. So we are free to use this variable later on in our topic or in our bot. And simply create a plenty message, but I would say that we don't need this for the later, and I simply can delete it. So that's pretty easy. Very quickly, you just interact with Copilot as with your colleague, explain what you need, and Copilot provide this stuff for you. Okay, this was the option number 2. And now let's explore my favorite option number 3, how AI and Copilot can help you to extend your topic. So when we click on the plus button to add a note, We can see here advanced category, and under advanced, we can see generative answers. What is it? It's a new feature that allows you to provide a source for your chatbot where a chatbot can looking for an answer. For an example, in my case, I would like to provide a source with a lot of license guides, instructions, rules, etc. For an example, it will be my internal SharePoint folder, document library, or something like this. Now you can do this using create generative answers. How you can do it? So we added this node, click on edit, and here you see plenty of options how to add your sources. For an example, you can add public website as we did when we created this bot, or you can add SharePoint site, and in your SharePoint internal site you can store your documents that should not be visible in public, right? And some additional options that you can use as well. So for SharePoint site, let me share with you some tips. First of all, when you copy SharePoint site address, do not copy the address to direct folder or document library. Let allow to your chatbot explore all SharePoint sites. So in this case, you should copy your tenant name .sharepoint.com/sites/SharePoint site name. Copy, go to Power Virtual Agents back, and paste here in SharePoint. And do not forget to click on this plus button. Because if you forget to click on this plus button, this SharePoint site won't be added to your list, right? And to finish configure this node, we need to add input. For the input, we can use different options. For this topic, we can use just variable where we are storing information from the user. So when the user trigger this topic, the bot asks what about the user would like to know. The response is storing in the variable, and then this variable is using for searching information in your dedicated SharePoint site. Cool. One thing that you need to keep in mind that if you are using SharePoint, in this case, you will have an error regarding authentication. To resolve this error, you will need app registration that you can create in the Azure AD in Entra AD, right? And provide information from this app registration in your chatbot. Let me show you in another chatbot where I already created it, because it's a little bit time consuming. So I have already created bot. This bot was created in the same way. In the topic, I have license, and here I have generative answers. So here I am using my SharePoint site, and I don't have any errors here, right? Why? Because when you create your app registration, please say secret and application ID and put in this chatbot. Go to settings, go to security, and go to authentication. By default, you will see no authentication, but you will need to switch to manual. Do not use required user to sign in, otherwise your user will be needed to sign in, which is boring, right? Just provide information. Service provider, Azure Active Directory version 2. Here you will need to put your client or application ID, and here you will need to put your secret that you will create in your app registration. That's it. Just save, and you are equipped. And now let's see how it's working. So go to topics, just to remind what trigger phrases and what is doing here. And let's see, in our document library, we have 3 licensing guides from February, June, and May. And now let's trigger our topic to fire it. Let's say license. Okay, we are in this topic, and let's ask something. For example, how can I license power-ups? You can see that this information was stored in the license question, and this information was sent to the create generative answer. And now our Copilot, our AI, is searching for the answer. Okay, and this information that we got from the license guides. First of all, the chatbot provides links from which documents this information came from, which is great because if you have a lot of documents in your SharePoint, it is better to provide exactly docs that reference for your for users' question. And some additional information the chatbot extract from these documents regarding how I can license power-ups. Yes, so this is correlate, and let me like this answer as well. Amazing. In just half an hour, we saw how Copilot can help us use power-ups, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents more effectively. With AI's help, creating new things becomes really easy. Copilot is great for making code. You just tell it what you want in simple terms, and it does it for you. It's also good at explaining code, like we saw in Power Automate. And we even made a smart chatbot that can answer many different questions. This is the new, simple way to set up chatbots, and it means they can use your existing resources to help answer users' questions. Copilot proves to be an invaluable assistant. The benefits are tangible: increased efficiency, reduced complexity, and an overall more intuitive way of coding. The final tip I wanted to share with you is about crafting prompts. The key is to be specific and outline all the necessary details you need. The more precise you are, the better results you can expect. There is a sense of fun in experimenting with different prompts, so do not hold back. Even if the initial result isn't exactly what you wanted, do not be discouraged. Perseverance is key. Continue refining until you hit the mark. In closing, I want to express how fantastic it is to have tools like Copilot that not only enhance our work, but also make the process more enjoyable. Let's embrace these resources and keep pushing our boundaries. Together, we can explore the vast possibilities that AI brings to our digital landscape. Thank you for your attention today. I encourage you start experimenting with low-code Copilot. Let's creating something incredible. Thanks again to Sharon and sponsors for this amazing event. And recording will be available on the YouTube channel. And this is a time for questions. Don't hesitate to ask me now in chat or ping me later on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What a lovely session. It's really nice to see everything kind of come together. I can see why you wanted to record that. I would have recorded that. do
Thank
anything
you.
good break. No, I really like that, and it kind of, you start thinking about ideas of how you could use this, and I really like the idea of using the chatbot, maybe even in an adoption setting. We always do like a so for example,
First
if you
things
roll
first.
for adoption. So if you're rolling out a new service like OneDrive or SharePoint, there are actually lots of sources already out there, like Microsoft sites, or maybe you've got your own Q&A that you can refer the chatbot to. I think that was a really nice addition for the generative answers. I really like that. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And moreover, for companies who need to store in their security boundaries their files for searching information and they can't use any public websites, it's a great tool to use here.
Yeah, no, I really like that. That's kind of given me some ideas. I like sessions that do that. Thank you so much for coming along. Really good.
Thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. I don't think we've got any questions outstanding in the chat, so I will let you go. Have a really wonderful evening, and thank you so much. Oh, Nigel has to go. Oh, thank you for joining us, Nigel. Really appreciate you coming along. Yes, again, thank you so much for coming along. We really appreciate your time and coming and talking to us about AI Copilot. It's also new, so it's all great fun to have a play with and to see others and get ideas. So fantastic. If we get any questions on the AI Copilot stuff that Katerina showed us, do add them to the chat. We can always ask her later, and we may post those on the YouTube video when we launch it there as well. We'll let you know when that goes live, Katerina. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so this is a Q&A part of the recording normally, but as we're sort of 7 minutes from close, I'm pretty sure everybody's keen to get off and have the rest of their evening to themselves. We did run a little long, but these were really important topics. So thank you for joining us live. For those of you that didn't join us live, we will be putting the sessions up on YouTube. And again, thanks so much for coming to the summer session. We try to get a great collection of speakers for you and some diversity of topic every quarter, and it's important that we get some feedback on the speakers and the content and the stuff you want to hear. And preferably, if you want to come along and speak, get in touch. We're always looking to encourage new speakers to have a platform to be able to come and share what you do and what you create. So really appreciate Sancho, Shruti, and the others, Katerina, Diva, for coming along and giving us their time and sharing with us and the rest of the community, and again via YouTube, the whole of the topics that we've got to share. Copilot AI, it's really fundamental to understand what it is we've got our hands on and how we can go ahead and use it. So thanks for joining us. Look forward to seeing you all on the next Cambridge Power Platform user group. Do join us online, come and join the community. There's a link to it there. And we look forward to seeing you all next time. I'm Sharon Sumner. Thanks for having a great session with us today. See you all again soon.
Yeah. Bye-bye.